The travel and tourism industry has taken one of the biggest hits this past year because of the pandemic. Thankfully, with safety protocols in place, domestic travel is starting to open its doors once again here in the Philippines. This video is about our 2-week trip to Siargao. I hope this video is going to be really helpful for you, especially if you're itching to travel again. So I'll be talking about all the requirements we needed to travel and what the whole travel process was like. But make sure to do your own research as well, because the requirements are changing often. And was it worth it to travel despite having to get all these requirements? In my opinion, 100% yes. Here is a list of requirements that we needed in order to travel to Siargao. Negative RT-PCR test within 48 hours of travel. Round-trip airfare. At least 5 days confirmed booking at a DOT-accredited accommodation. Acceptance letter from the destination LGU. Travel authority or COVID shield. Barangay clearance. Photocopies of all our IDs. E-health pass online. The DOT has a subsidized RT-PCR test for 750 pesos. I'll put the link for that below. And here's some footage of us enjoying our swab testing. At the airport on the day of our flight, the guard checked our airline tickets, IDs, RT-PCR test results, and temperature in order for us to enter. Upon entering any airport here in the Philippines, there is a security check at the entrance. We then proceeded for self-check-in and printing of our baggage tags. Although after self-check-in, travelers are still required to show up at the check-in counters. At the check-in counters, they thoroughly checked all of our requirements and made photocopies of them. I highly recommend organizing your documents in a clear book folder. They scanned our boarding passes after our documents were cleared. Here we are on to the next security check. Upon boarding, we each had to fill out a health questionnaire and show our ID plus boarding pass in order to board. The flight attendants were wearing full PPE, and we were required to wear our face mask plus face shield at all times during the flight. We had an overnight layover at Cebu Airport. Thankfully, we were allowed to stay at the airport overnight. Otherwise, we would have had to get more requirements in order to go outside of the airport and into the city of Cebu. The next morning, we checked in again at Cebu Airport, and they also checked all our requirements. Make sure to download the app Trace, because that's what they use for contact tracing in all Philippines airports. Upon arrival in Siargao, they were very strict in making us scan their trace code before leaving the airport building. And then after exiting the door, there was a series of checks to make sure we had all our requirements. We also had to wash our hands, and they scanned our e-health pass.
Thank you!
And boom, we were in Siargao. Now, what was it like traveling around Siargao? And what were the regulations there? When we arrived at our accommodation, we went through a disinfection process. They sprayed us with something basically, and then we got our temperatures checked. They also informed us that masks are required when out in public, but they also said not to be alarmed because a lot of people actually don't wear their masks. It was weird being in Manila and having to follow all these strict protocols of wearing your mask and shield everywhere, and now being here in this open nature of Siargao. It was so freeing. The rush and stress of the city life suddenly went away, and the slow, chill island life took hold. So what was Siargao like? Were all the tourist attractions open? Fortunately, almost all the tourist attractions were open except for Magpupungko tide pools. But there's a secret way to get in, which I'll talk about in a bit. The place we stayed is called Himaya. We are so glad we found this place. They basically have different villas and a common villa where there's a kitchen and hangout spots good for working during the day and hanging out at night. We became instant friends with the owners, Jelly and Jeff. They were very helpful and helped us set up motor rentals, and they gave us recommendations where to eat and where to go, and they were just awesome to hang out with. This is where we ran into our friend Sam, who we met last year, and met our new friends Ellie and Samantha. We ended up hanging out with them for most of the trip. They're all from Siargao, which was actually super helpful and interesting because we had an inside scoop on the local life in Siargao. Getting around the island seemed pretty normal. We were warned about checkpoints in certain places, but we didn't really run into any issues. What did we end up doing? I won't go into too much detail, but here's a summary of what we did and the places we went. We went to Secret Lagoon. We went to Wantao, which is in Pacifico. We went surfing at Talisay. I highly recommend eating at Corvada. They have awesome healthy food that's affordable. We went to Sugba Lagoon and had the whole entire place to ourselves, which was awesome. We experienced a bit of the party scene, which was apparently mellow compared to before the pandemic. We enjoyed some time chilling at Himaya, cooking and eating there. We saw the sunset at Sunset Bridge and also watched people skateboard there. We went up north again, this time all the way to Alegria Beach. We went on an island tour with I Know a Guy Siargao, which was a blast. Here's Jeff with his pet goose, Oscar. We had an awesome Filipino breakfast at Munchies. Make sure to try their beef tapa. We surfed at Secret Spot. We surfed at Jacking Horse. We met and filmed with surf champion Ikit Agudo. She was super fun and nice to get to know. We went on another road trip up north. This time we snuck into Magpupungko tide pools. So there's a homestay just past the entrance of Magpupungko. Just make sure you ask the caretakers if you can enter and go to their beach area. And then from the beach area, you just have to walk towards the right all the way till you reach the tide pools. But make sure you're going during low tide or else you won't be able to walk all the way there. Although I think they finally reopened Magpupungko, so I think you probably won't have a problem with that. We enjoyed an afternoon at Big Wish Pacifico. We swam at dusk at Malinao Paradise. We surfed at Salvacion. We filmed our new friend Kitoy riding the waves, which was super awesome. We celebrated Henna's birthday, and apparently it's Siargao tradition to crack eggs on the birthday celebrant. We took a quick trip to Guyam Island. We got tattoos. as visitors, it was a dream of a trip, especially because there weren't that many other tourists there, and we got to know the people that live in Siargao a little bit better as well. Although from our conversations with our friends there, they're still hoping that more tourists can start coming again, because it really helps their livelihood there. So if you're interested in visiting Siargao this year, I'd highly recommend it, and feel free to let me know if you have any questions. I hope that gives you a better idea of what it's like to travel right now, especially in Siargao. If this video helped you, consider leaving it a like and consider subscribing to my channel if you enjoy watching my videos, because that would help us out a lot. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.